Hello, and welcome to the second episode of the SA Cricket Podcast. But like episode 270-ish of the podcast, Tim and I, that was formerly known as the Full Quota Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the SA Cricket Podcast. My name is Mpho and Tim. I've got Tim Delace here. Tim, how are things in Cape Town after my boys came through and did some things?
I've got some good news and some bad news. Bad news is I was very sick. I was all scheduled to go down and see it, but due to the sickness, it meant I didn't have to witness it with my own eyes. So it's good and bad.
Okay. No. We hear you. Yeah. Well, this is South African Cricket Podcast. We are your one-stop shop to South African cricket, anything and everything in South African cricket. We're going to cover all the topics on this Monday. We go live on Mondays and sometimes on Thursdays. So just to make sure that you on the ball with us, please do follow us on X at SA Cricket Pod, and also subscribe to our South African Cricket Podcast YouTube channel, as well as check out the South African Cricket Podcast on Apple Podcast and Spotify for all you audio people out there. You can also support us. We are in a bit of a rebranding. You saw our intro slide. We're busy working on that. Trying to get some music, trying to get something funky. It's still in production, so we'll roll it out as we go. The changes are coming quick and fast, but you can support us in our rebrand, in our future. It's actually not at Full Quota Podcast anymore. It's at SA Cricket Pod. So please do buy some coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SA Cricket Pod. Tim, is that correct?
That is correct.
Yes. Just change that right now. Yes. The joys of podcasting and also being your own producer. Lots on the go. You can also email us at sacricketpod@gmail.com for any and every comments that you have, suggestions. We're getting suggestions on Twitter. We're going to try new things, and we're going to do that as we go along. Lots on the go in South African cricket. Oh, one last thing. If you want to buy some coffee, that QR code at the top is for you to help us buy some coffee. If you're watching us, so you can just, do what you do think, what phones do with QR codes. It'll send you to the link. And then the one at the bottom on YouTube, on the bottom right, somewhere for you to see my finger, I think is also for buy me a coffee. So either one works. We're just trying anything and everything to make money. We do this for the love of cricket alone. We're also looking for sponsors. So if you'd like us to shout you out on the show, please do email us at SA Cricket Pod. And also if you want us to speak about your community projects and everything else, please do let us know. All cricket related, right? Not other sports, but yeah. We can do that as well. So it's a weekend of surprises, right? Across the sporting landscape, lots of upsets and everything else. But one thing that was not an upset was the Proteas Women in India. I don't know about you, but and I've spoken a lot about this team, but if you've watched this podcast many times, I kind of give you a breakdown of how you navigate the tournament. And I've said this for this tournament, you kind of have to take the games against India, Australia, and England as free hits. Yes, we can beat them. Chances are we won't, but we can use those games as pressure-free matches for you to be able to see if you can't sneak one away. It's going to be a lot of rain. You might, and in this tournament, and so things might not fall your way. But at least what we're asking for and we're hoping for is that the Proteas women in those games don't feel the pressure. They're currently playing New Zealand right now. They've bowled out New Zealand for 231. You will know at the end of when you watch this podcast what has happened. We don't know. We're hoping the Proteas don't have the collapse that they have. But 69 not out against England in a match, there's no pressure and nothing like that is unacceptable. They look like they didn't know how to play spin. They look like they were, and we've said this many times, if you've watched this podcast and you're a cricket lover and you're a cricket watcher, spin is a dance, right? It's like learning a dance. It's either you at the pitch of the ball, front foot, get to the pitch of the ball, or you play the ball late. You can't be sitting in between the two. If you're sitting in between, you're a man who's got, or woman who's got no country identity. You're effectively a citizen of the world, and anything and everything can happen to you. And that's what happened to the Proteas, top and middle order. I know Laura Volfart was defiant. No, we're not a 69 all-out team. If you play spin like that, and also if you play New Zealand spinners like that, you'll find yourself in the same situation. If either you play forward, you play back. Sinala Jafta decided to sit back and play off the back foot, which is perfect for her. They tried to draw forward. She refused. And she scored most of the runs in that 69. We need to, guys, we can't, every time we go to the subcontinent, we can't be teaching you how to play spin or reminding you how to play spin. This is your job. You should be told once, you should be taught once, and you should be able to apply it. This thing of sweeping cover drives, you're planting your front foot and just go sweeping, and then the ball going through the gate, and you're like, ooh, no, they bowled up. No, they didn't. No, they did not. All they did, who was that? Sarah, whatever that name, Lisa, what was that England spinner's name?
Lindsay Smith?
Lindsay Smith. All Lindsay Smith was, put it in that no man's land and have you make a call. It's either you come forward and you play it at the pitch of the ball, or you sit back and you play it. This thing of in between, like I plot my front foot, cover drive. Like we're playing in South Africa. Like I don't get it. But anyway, it's 69 all out. I don't believe that they're a 69 all out team. However, the way in which they played spin scared me even more. And I've been trying to find pieces of optimism with this team to kind of give you pieces of optimism with this team. The only optimism I take out of this game, it's two of those. We expected to lose that game. Ooh, well done. That's fine. We didn't get it, but it's out the way, right? The second piece is that this should be the horror show of the World Cup. At least you're not doing this against Pakistan. At least you're not doing this against Bangladesh. At least you're not doing this against New Zealand. Right? This is what, like, I think even at least you're not doing this against, I'm assuming, and I want to make sure, because I've been trying to figure out if the West Indies are in this tournament. Because I see Bangladesh or Sri Lanka. The West Indies are not here. It's Sri Lanka, yes. I don't want this against Sri Lanka. So the batting performance is out. So from here on out, what Laura promised us that the middle order has played better over the last 18 months, which I disagree with her. We're hoping that happens. Because quite frankly, it wasn't pleasant to watch. It was a quick game, but it was just embarrassing. Truly, truly embarrassing. And if this is what you're going to give, if this is what we're going to get, we might as well just not have fired Hilton. We might as well just continued with Dylan. There's nothing new. Because this weekend, I watched on Sunday, Relebogile Mofokeng, left arm seamer, very quick, to my eye. Obviously, we don't have a speed gun. And I'm like, you can bring her into the Proteas. I watched Seshni Naidu turn her arm, and I'm like, she should be in India. Because I think we might need spinners. I watched Faye Cowling bowl. I also watched Raisibe Ntozake take 4 wickets. And so I'm sitting here going, we're there with the tried and tested, or we're there with just the same old because we're afraid of taking risks. I was okay with this World Cup being a risk-taking World Cup, giving the youngsters, giving some of the under-19s a view of what international women's cricket is. But we're here with the tried and tested, the people we trust, the same old, and we're getting embarrassed for 69. And I find it funny with cricket that the moment a collapse happens, everybody just follows suit. There was no fight. There was not, the only person who gave us a little bit of fight was Sinal. She applied herself. She is limited as a batter as she is, but she applied herself more than all these famous people all around her who have been playing in the Proteas for God knows how long, 15, 20 years, and they couldn't buy a run. Look, I hate coming with rants. I want to be happy. Make me happy, right? I'll support you to the hills, and I hope that by the time we air this, we actually won this game against New Zealand, because this World Cup starts here. We have to win this game against New Zealand. That's how we get into the semifinals. And then everyone else, There's Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan. That's where those are the games you need to win. Australia and India, little chance of winning those games, right? But you can. You have the talent, and there's a day where the talent will align and you can do amazing things. All I'm saying is save those performances for the semifinals and the final. All I want is for you to get out of the other games, and then whoever's Australia and India, that's a free hit, pressure-free play. Enjoy those games, play those games, apply yourself, and give it a hard slog, because you don't need to win those games. And there's rain, and there's net run rate, and there's all this other stuff, and we put ourselves in the back foot. But hopefully today, I'm hoping they've done well. 231 all out, and we have New Zealand. Lefty took 4 wickets. She should have bowled a little bit earlier, but I'm not going to complain. We need another out-and-out spinner if we're gonna do this, or we need someone who's going to bowl in the power plays who's a spinner. Sune, Chloe, somebody. If you're not going to bowl lefty up front, you need a bowler spinner. This pace heavy is a little bit too much, and I'm worried that 231 that New Zealand have given might be a little bit too far. But with the talent we have, we should get it. If we don't get it, just watch the last 10 minutes. It's the same old. Tim?
Yeah, I can't really add anything more to do except I think that potentially a big positive, even though our net run rate is going to be a problem no matter what we do, because of the money of the loss in the first game, is the rain. Because Australia have already lost the game due to rain. The more games that are washed out, the more those teams come closer towards us. They don't get those massive wins against teams that they should be winning and winning comfortably. So it does bring them down to where we are to some extent. That's a huge plus.
And if you look at it, one of those teams is Bangladesh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I don't think I can add anything else except to say, go back to our preview for the World Cup. Go back and see what we said. We said this is going to be a tough World Cup. We said this is going to be a real challenge. We said a semi-final would be a good achievement. Anything more is a bonus, but if we can get a semi-final, it will be a good achievement. I still think we're gonna be outside it, but if we win today, it would be massive with the games coming up.
Because the other team that's going to make the semi-final in our books is New Zealand, and if you beat them, you already have won over them, and you gotta play these tournaments strategically. And I hope Mandla and the team do, and I know that they rolled out the same team, but these are the games you need to be winning. Like, to hell about England. Like, we were always going to lose. I just wanted us to put up a good fight, put up something that is pressure-free, stress-free. They played like a team with stress on their shoulders, with all the problems in the world, and that they couldn't think clearly, they couldn't focus. And I just hope in this innings that we can get clarity of thought, a strong top order giving us that foundation, and then the middle order coming through, right? And being able to manage a slow and low wicket as we go through this tournament, because 230 is a defendable score. That I can tell you. It shouldn't be, but in these conditions, it is. And so it's going to come down to how well we play spin. But good luck to the Proteas women. They've got games this week, so we'll just let you know later on what games they're going to watch and what games they're going to have, and where you can watch them and support them, because I still believe we can make the semis. And in my books, once you make the semis, anything can happen. You can get rain, you can figure out, whatever it is, shorten games, bring you in, that type of stuff. That's what we want, right? We're looking for hope. I'm not negative. I'm just frustrated. Very, very frustrated with this team. Okay. The show today, Tim, was about the results of the 4-day series, right? We're going to wrap up the 4-day series. And so let's do that. Let's go through the games that we have. We had a full slate of games across Division 1 and Division 2. As I get this QR code going away, and also the logo. Cool. So Division 1 and Division 2 results. Let's start with Northwest and the Titans in Division 1. They hosted the Dragons hosted the Titans in Potchefstroom. Mikael Prince scoring 142. I think it's his first career first-class century. Dean Forrester on 94. Lisiba Ngwepe continuing from his century from last week as an opener with a 99 in that second innings. Viad Luba scoring 75 and 91 in both innings. Keegan Peterson 119 runs, and Donovan Ferreira as well there, coming in with another half century. Only question I'd say is, Shukri, are you watching? He could potentially come into that team. Skalk Engelbrecht took 4 wickets for the Titans in the first innings. Also, Gerald Kutsia played in that game. He got 1 for 54 in the first innings. And then in the second innings, he got 2 wickets for 26. Skalk Engelbrecht also taking 3 for 63 in that second innings. From a bowling perspective, it was Onke Nyaku for the Titans. No, not the Titans, for the Dragons, to restrict the Titans to 262. Northwest scored 491 for 8 in the first innings, and they declared that. Bowled out the Titans for 262. 3 for 40, Onke Nyaku, and Alfred Motwa 2 for 58, as well as Vian Liber 2 for 23, kind of rounding out a proper performance. Northwest then scored 225 for 6, declared in the third innings of that match. And in the last innings, it was 2 wickets for 4 players for the Titans, 2 for 36 for Onke Nyaku, 2 for 12 for Vian Liber, Dean Forrester 2 for 24, and Achille Kluter 2 for 26. Tim, this game for the Dragons was a question of who wants to be man of the match. The Titans are in a bit of a hole, but the Dragons 2-2, sitting top of the log. What a game for them.
If you go back to our preview, now, to be fair, it wouldn't have been this format, but if you go back to our preview, I said Northwest are going to win a trophy. It's still early days, but the fact that they are top of the log in the full-day competition, a competition where in the last couple of seasons under Craig Alexander, they have tended to struggle for consistency. They've had these enormous blowouts. We've had these massive collapses, which has cost them dearly, and had them at the bottom of the log and flirting with relegation. So the fact that they're top of the log, beating a team like the Titans, who've got a new coach, they've got a new spark about them, they've signed well, they've got good players, that's really, really good. This was a team effort, as the scoreline will show you. 3 scores of over 3 scores in the 90s, 100. Mikael Prince from this part of the world, really good performance. It was tough going. It was a tough game because I think for 3 days, because it was Poch and because Donovan Ferreira in particular, and Luandre made 50 as well, you thought that the Titans were doing enough to get a draw. And as we've had people on here before telling about the Poch pitch in the 4-day competition is flat, but in that 4th innings, it was the spin of Poch that really made a huge difference. Like got them the win. Huge win for Northwest. Big win.
Yeah, massive win. Are we worried about the Titans yet, or are we going to just let these 2 bad performances slide? On slower wickets, I might add.
So, I would say it's a slight concern, but not panic. I think, let's put it that way. They're just trying to find things. Jonathan Ferreira, I think, is a very good captain. I think he's proactive. I think he shows intent. I think he leads up the front for the batting. I think he is a real purpose. I think Halim is finding consistency. Halim is performing. Last week he scored 100. This week I think he scored 50 again. I think he scored 60. Got wickets. So it's on notice, but let's not panic just yet.
Yeah, I got a 64 in a losing cause. But yeah, it was a little bit too much for them, losing by 196 runs. Northwest's batting has improved immensely in this format. Moving on to the next teams, the next matches, it was the KZN Inland Tuskers taking on the Warriors in a game that was drawn. It's just a bad light situation. They lost like 40 overs
and rain.
each day.
Lots of rain.
Yeah, and rain as well. Just bad light and rain. And I know Werner, who is also a contributor to us, as well as a former guest, and also a good cricket person to follow. He mentioned that last year, all those games and all the 4 games in Maritzburg were draws, and it was bad light. It was an issue. So yeah, please start earlier. That's what if you need to start at 8, we can start at 8. Like, I don't understand why cricketers can't wake up and start at 8 like the rest of the world. Anyway, Thomas Caber scored a 50, Cameron Shackleton 59, Matthew Bretsky scored 101, Matthew De Villa scored 52 for the Warriors, Darren De Pavillon 4 for 28, and Matthew Boast 5 for 52. They did try get to some sort of a result, but yeah, it wasn't going to work there. The other game was Boland hosting the Dolphins. Yes, Tim?
Hold on. That's a maiden 5-wicket haul for Matthew Boast. So just plaudits towards him. Yeah. But otherwise,
Matthew leaving the Titans and getting an opportunity there at the Warriors and doing really, really well there. The next game was Boland hosting the Dolphins. First innings for Boland, they got bowled out for 156. The Dolphins then replied with 346. And then Boland came back with 452. But it wasn't enough, as the Dolphins won by 5 wickets for 200 by scoring 264 in the last innings. Tepang Detola scored 116 and 60, opening the batting. Kazondo also came in with the run. So did Bryce Parsons and Jason Smith. Tristan Luce taking 4 for 42, as well as 3 for 102. From a Boland perspective, nothing to write home about. Lehan Butter scored 45 in that first innings. Must be said that Othniel Bartman took 3 for 19 in that first innings for the Dolphins. We've spoken about the Dolphins batters. Glenton Steeman also taking 4 for 46 in that first innings for Boland for the bowling. Ethan Bosch took 3 for 60, and Lees, we've mentioned, 3 for 102 as well in that second innings to the 452 mammoth innings by Paul. In that innings, Peter Malan scored 157. You got 67s from Grant Rudolphson and Gavin Kaplan. Alongside him, there was a 141 opening partnership, and then there was another 150 partnership starting that. So that was like some tough sledding there for the Dolphins. But in reply, the Dolphins, Tepang Detola scoring 60 and Bryce Parsons 63, Jason Smith 54 to win that game.
Win
that game for the Dolphins on the final day, and Avuyam Gijima taking 2 for 37 for Boland. Tim, again, and this was the game to watch. It had everything. It had runs. It had a close finish. Close enough. But yeah, the Dolphins really came through there with the bowling up front, and then also coming through with a consistent batting performance across 2 innings to win that game by 5 wickets.
Yeah, this is the sort of performance from the Dolphins when they put out when they need to win. Obviously, they didn't need to win. There wasn't anything on the line this early in the season, but they just showed their class. They strangled Boland from the get-go. Boland were always on the back seat from that first innings at 156. So it always became difficult for them. But they did make it a challenge for the Dolphins. And in that second innings, the Dolphins were 140 for 3 when Jason Smith and Bryce Parsons came together. They put on 95, I think. That was the killer. There were definitely a few hearts and mouths moments in that partnership. Balls just landing just short of fielders, and a few interesting appeals for LBWs. So the game was still very much alive at the last day, and that's the point I'm making, which is what you want. I'm delighted for Bryce Parsons. Bryce Parsons need to be more consistent, particularly in this format. I hope it's a sign of good things, and we know that what we need going forward as a nation is opening batters, and Taban Totole doing the business in both innings went a long way in securing that victory for the Dolphins. He's sort of he's an unsung hero. He's not the guy that's going to get the headlines because he goes about it in a quiet, unassuming way, but he's very, very important to the side.
No, true. And look, I was really happy with that. Really lovely seeing Thabang Ditolo. It was also on this podcast, just, playing some really great shots yesterday over the weekend. It was just amazing. Like he looked in full flight, in control. And another, if he has a great season, another person to throw into an SAA touring side or an SAA team going forward. I think he's really, really started the season well. And then the game that had everything outside of thingy, we had the first injury substitute under this new trial. Eddie Moore got replaced for a left abductor strain, and Joshua van Heerden became the first injury substitute in the world. So that's a pub quiz question. But the Lions arrived in Cape Town to start off their season, and Western Province just, I don't know what they did. But anyway, let's recap this game. Western Province batted first. They scored 193. They were in serious trouble at some point. Daniel Smith scoring 102 of 91. He was the only shining light, with everyone else scoring 91 runs amongst them. Then the Lions came in that bowling performance for the Lions. Bear Swanepoel in his debut for the Lions, taking 2 for 52. Gwena Mapaka 2 for 32, and Evan Jones 4 for 58. He was just unplayable on Thursday. And then the Lions put on a mammoth 552 for 9. 53 for Dom Hendricks, 126 for Mitch van Buren. They put him, and then Connor Estes also 175 for him as well. They put on about 175 run partnership before Mitch van Buren went out there, him and Connor Estes. And then we also got 76 from Evan Jones, who also was in a good partnership with Connor Estes. They also scored about 160 run partnership there as well. So just mammoth batting from the star-studded Lion side. And then you had from the bowling side, Carl Simmons 3 for 155, and Jody Lawrence 2 for 108, with Dane Patterson 2 for 47. Western Province didn't do much in the second innings. They did manage to get to 225, but Javesh and Palace, the Gwena Mapaka took 3 for 26. Evan Jones 2 for 52, and Bear Swanepoel 2 for 48. Luto Sapamla 2 for 21 as well. And you have Javesh and Palace for Western Province scoring 46. Daniel Smith getting to 36. Carl Simmons 43. George Linder 28. Wasn't enough to stem the tide from the Lions. And the Lions won by a mammoth innings and 134 runs. Tim, what do you have to say for yourself with your team? Don't come and tell me the rich keep getting richer.
You said it. No, but seriously. Were we ever going to beat the Lions, even when we're playing at home in 4-day cricket with the squad, without Kyle Verreynne and David Bellingham? No. if there was anybody on this earth, then I'd be very surprised. You genuinely thought the province could win this game with the squad that we have against the squad that you guys have. But saying that, we did have you 178 for 5 in response to our 193. And that,
how did that turn out?
Was the game changer. That, my friend, was where the game flipped a coin, and we were never in it from there, and from that moment onwards. It was very painful.
It must have been demoralizing, right? So you have 170 odd partnership between Connor Essays and Mitch Van Buren when you have them 175 for 5. And then Mitch gets out, and it's another 160 partnership. It's just unbelievable. Like it's like the pitch all of a sudden just went flat. Nothing for the bowlers. They're just toiling away, and it looks like the Lions are the only team that can get something out of this pitch.
Maybe Moriki should have stayed. I don't know.
Well, where was he going to play?
Like, no, I'm saying it in jest. Of course, I'm saying it in jest. Look, but what did we say? We said who needs to perform in this Lions squad outside of the usual suspects? Connor Esthazen. What does he do? New high score. Mammoth 175. We know the guys that you need to look out for. We know the guys you need to keep an eye out for. These are the guys that you need to keep an eye out for. There'll be more when we talk about the Division 2. Mammoth scores from young up-and-coming batsmen doing the business. So if you want to know who to watch this podcast. But no, for most of the game, you guys were in charge. Well done. Congrats. Hopefully somebody else will beat you. That's all I will say. Hopefully somebody else will beat you.
Who is that somebody? Like, honestly, who is that somebody? Northwest, possibly.
I'm putting all my eggs on the Dolphins. I'm putting all my eggs on the Dolphins. Yeah.
Okay, we shall see. Let's go through the Division 2 games. We had 3 of them. We'll start with the Garden Route Badgers in Southwestern Districts. They're playing Limpopo. They scored 490 and they beat Limpopo by an innings and 61 runs, bowled them out for 173 and 156. George van Heeren scoring 221 runs, Ruanta Blanche 72. Ludwig Keesner for Limpopo with a 56. But Liam Alder, 4 for 24 and 2 for 39. And Tyrese Carlson, 5 for 42. It was an easy win for the Garden Route Badgers, Tim, who set their stall out and they put those runs down, and then they just proceeded to dismantle Limpopo's batting in quick time, I must say. And yeah, it's going to be tough sledding for Limpopo, but yeah, it's what we expected this season.
It is, but the players that they lost, that caveat has got to be out there. They lost a lot of players last season, a lot of turnover. It's just about being competitive, and unfortunately, in this game, that they just weren't. Everybody is allowed a bad day at the office. The positives are it's in the foremost in the 19 player George van Heeren and Mammoth 221. Again, showing his class, again showing I'm happy to play Division 2 for now, but Division 1, when you come calling, I'm available.
Yeah, we need to find a way to reward high performers like this.
They've got to. They've got to. We're on to Blanche, injured for 3/4 of last season, back at the runs, another guy, early 20s, who I have huge hopes for. I think he's going to be really, really good. So it's great to see him score runs. Liam Elder, I've always been a fan of Liam Elder. We've had him on the podcast. It's been difficult for him to find game time. He was at the Warriors. And when CSA Domestic was coming through there after being in the wilderness, he got in front of him, and it just became very, very difficult for him to get game time. I'm just happy he's playing. 6 wickets in the match, and the team get a massive victory. I'm just happy he's now playing week in, week out, which is what he needs to be doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, and then the other game in Division 2 was Easterns, who won last week against Limpopo, coming up against the Knights in Bloemfontein. They were batting first. They had a bad day at the office, as Tim calls it. They were bowled out for 59. It was like, we know what the Proteas Women do. We can do better. Joe van Dijk taking 4 for 6 there. Tian van Vieren taking 3 for 23. And then in reply, the Knights bowled out for 197. Gian Kluter scoring 60 there, and that 60 not out. Patrick Botha 33. Ernest Kem 5 for 73. Aman Khan 2 for 21. Easterns in reply could only get to 165 for 9. Yuri Sneeman scoring 91 of those runs. Dane Pete 5 for 44, and Joe van Dijk again 2 for 42. And then finally, obviously, needing only 31 to win, they got there in easy time. And yeah, Aman Khan and Ernest Kem taking 1 wicket apiece there. Just a complete win for the Knights, who should be worried about their batting as well, but just a low-scoring affair in Bloem Vegas.
Yeah, the talking point of this game is Joe van Dijk and Tian van Vieren opening the bowling together. My word. Unbelievably quick. They had Ernest Kemp and Yuri Sneeman jumping around all over the place. They didn't actually dismiss them, which was a little bit strange. But I give huge credit to Ernest Kemp and Yuri Sneeman for seeing them out. But as you can see, Johan van Dijk's figures are incredible. 4 wickets for 6 runs. I don't know how many overs it was. It was something like 16, 17 overs. No, it would have been less. Maybe 10 overs or something. Anyway, it was ridiculous figures. That opening partnership is really worth saying. I know it's Division 2. I know you're going to say you're not going to watch it. Just watch that opening partnership. Then in the next game, on a wicket that has a little bit of pace, not potch, it's worth watching. It really is worth watching. When they get it going,
it's a good thing that they're not
really is something else.
Okay. Tim is telling you that opening bowling attack from the Knights. I watched a piece of it of them. I was very, very impressed. Pace, and somehow they've got 2 guys who can crank it up down there. So the Knights are really know their path back to promotion. And then the last game was in Mpumalanga playing Northern Cape in the Northern Cape in Kimberley. It was weird. Ronan Harman, 21, was captain of the Northern Cape Heat, which kind of tells you the change the team has had. They've gone very, very young. Mpumalanga batted first, scoring 463. It was a sublime performance from Mohammed Mayat, who scored 269 not out, captaining Mpumalanga. You saw Cook scoring 43, and Zakir Kathrada also scoring 63 in that game. From a bowling perspective, Joe van Rensburg, 4 for 89 for the Northern Cape Heat, and Udirile Mudimukwane, 2 for 81 there. And then in reply, Northern Cape 219 of all out. Ronan Herman in the captain's knock of 102, and Tahir Isaacs 54 runs there. Aubrey Swanepoel 3 for 28 for Mpumalanga, and Rikus Kram, who also is a very nice fast bowler, very correct in his technique, 2 for 30. Caught a piece of him this weekend. I was really impressed there. Don't know where they found him, but yeah, we'll find out more throughout the season. In reply, Mpumalanga bowled out for 177. Zakir Kathrada scoring 85. Aubrey Swanepoel 22. Udirile Mudimukwane taking 3 for 53, and Tshepo Ntuli taking 3 for 66. And then to save the game, they needed over 400 runs. Northern Cape Heat, they could only muster 163. Kone Prinsloo 39 and Nonela Yiga 35. Kirtland Manikam, their spin bowler 5 for 29 and Obi Swanepoel 2 for 44 to give Mpumalanga their first win of the season. Amazing stuff coming out of Mpumalanga. I'm really excited about this team, Tim. What can you tell me more about this team? Because every time I checked onto YouTube, they were doing something amazing. That Muhammad Maya 269 is saying a lot, an entire amount.
If you watched last season at all with Mpumalanga and the fact they finished third overall in a lot of, I think in all of the competitions actually, if I have my memory correctly, you will have seen the impetus and the leadership skills of Yuri Snyman and how he dragged that team over the line in so many close games to give them what was a very successful season for them. So losing him was a massive blow. I thought, you know what? I know it's just one person, but that one person makes a huge impact on a team. It doesn't seem to, on the surface at the moment, have affected them. They seem to be very much galvanized. They seem to be very much together. And Mohammed Mayat, who's been there a long time, has sort of taken over that sort of fatherly role within that side, just in terms of the way he goes about it. Obviously, with that mammoth score for him, but they've still got the nucleus of most of pretty much everybody that they had from last season outside of Yuri Snyman. You're right. We are going to get to my team of the week. I wanted a balance, and I thought, you know what? At the end, when I was doing my Division 2 setup, stuff the balance. I'm going with the guy who got 5 wickets. Rickers did not get 5 wickets in an innings. But like you, I saw him, and I thought, you know what? For a debut, that was impressive. That was seriously impressive. So in the weeks to come, he may well find my team of the week, but he's definitely one I think one should keep an eye out for. We always want to look out for young, up-and-coming fast bowlers. He was something I definitely caught my eye over the weekend. Definitely.
No, he did as well. I was really impressed by him. I was like, wow, okay. He may not be the paciest of guys, but he can get up there. It's what you want to see.
He's fast medium. He's not fast, he's fast medium, and that's fine.
Yeah, okay. So let's move on to Tim's teams of the week. We've got 2 teams of the week to go through. Just need to figure out which one is which. Division 2, let's start with that. You've gone with Ruanta Blanche, Ludwig Keesner, Mohammed Mayat, George van Heerden, Zakir Kathrada, Ernest Kem, who should be an opener, but I don't know why he's batting at 6. Ronan Harman, Liam Alder, Dane Pete, Tyrese Carlson, and Joe van Dijk. I can't fight this one, Tim, but it looks like you were trying to, include everybody here, all the batters, and didn't matter what position.
It didn't matter what position in particular. As I just talked about, when I was picking my balance, I thought Joe needs another pace bowler. Joe needs another Higan Yang. And unfortunately, Tien van Vuren didn't get in the wickets column enough for me. I'm a bit surprised that his figures were quite poor in the second innings. So I was touring with Rickers, but Carlson on that final day got the 5 wickets that got
to win them the game.
Godly Badgers the victory. Without his 5 wickets, they may not have got the victory on that final day. So I couldn't leave Carlson out. I think you know what? You're right. You're right. But I think I got it right that Blanche is opening the batting with the Godfrey Badgers, which is why I've got him there. But you're right. Normally,
Tim,
in
positions
normal
don't matter.
circumstances,
It's just very weird
yeah,
that
I know. I know.
you've effectively told Ernest Kim to go back to who he formerly was. But
An
hey, look,
all-rounder.
yes, it's a team of the week, and we're very happy with that. Congratulations to everyone! Sublime performances this week in Division 2, and we look forward to many more of those. Now, Division 1, team of the week, Tsapang Ditolik, Lesibang Wepe opening. Oh, 2 Black African batters, Tim. Nice. Gavin Kaplan makes a return. Mikhail Prince, also from the Northwest after his maiden century. Connor Esterhazen makes it in, but Mitch van Buren does not. Vian Libba also makes it in for his all-round performances, scoring half centuries in both innings and also taking wickets as well. Evan Jones as well makes it in there as an all-rounder. Matthew Boast for his first fifer. Darren de Pavilon makes it in there. Tristan Lees and Gwena Mapaka. Tim, many people will have a bone to pick with you.
No, I know that. I know this is going to create debate, which is cool, which is absolutely cool. Okay, so the question marks that I see from people. Evan Jones, I've said for the last 2 seasons, where's Evan Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Why is he not playing? Why is he playing like? I know he's not, but I'm seeing this as an exaggeration, obviously. So why is he playing 2 games a season? I mean, that's what it felt like. It felt like he was playing 2 games a season and then practicing with the rest of the season. I never saw him play. I thought his performances this week were really impressive. The way that he went about the batting, the 76, and the way that he got the ball to talk on what was pretty much a flat wicket, and to get wickets in both innings, 6 wickets at the match, said to me, you know what? I've taken notice. So it's things I take notice of, and that stood out on me. Yes, in terms of the balance, I could have put in Mitch here. I love Mitch. I've spoken about Mitch many a time. Mitch has been in my team of the week from last season an awful lot, but Connors was had more gravitas. Connors was more in your face, more noticeable.
Okay.
I think Darren de Pavilon bowled really well before the rain came in and ruined that game. I really did.
There's another bowler who got a 4 wicket haul this week, and you left him out, and I'm shocked.
Who's that?
Clinton Steelman. It's like you don't like him.
Yes, I obviously don't. It's clear. It's clear.
No, obviously. Tim, you should.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
He's the leading wicket taker in Division 1. 13 wickets at an average of 14.69. And he's still not on this list, Tim.
Very impressive. Again,
look,
what I was thinking.
Just say you like youngsters. You just like them young. You like bringing the youngsters in there.
Darren de Pavilon is an old man. Darren de Pavilon.
Boast, Lees, Mapaka. It's like you are telling us what the Proteas bowling lineup will be in 2035.
It is possible. It is possible. Credible Parker bowled 5.5 overs, stopped bowling, and then he came back in the second innings and got 3 wickets. He was an incredible. Tristan Lewis was incredible for the Dolphins. But I love the debate. The one I would say, and I did touch on it, do I need 2 all-rounders? But they were so important to their team's win, in my opinion. Therefore, yeah, absolutely, I need 2 all-rounders. Fian's not going to bowl a lot. Fian for me is going to bat more than he's going to bowl. Evan is my all-rounder for this round.
Okay, cool. Evans, your all-rounder for this round. Okay, well done to everyone who made week 2 division team. Glenn Steenman, I want you in the team, but it's Tim's team of the week. If it is Mpho's team of the week, you're in there. We're not overlooking everything else. You are bowling really, really, really well. So too Othniel Bartman, really bowling really well. And hopefully more performances will make Tim put you into the thing. Tim's likes looking forward, but currently you guys, Sean van Berg, we love you too. You know we love you. Nice, number 2, 10 wickets. It's weird that Boyland have the top 2 wicket takers. It's saying a lot about my relegation prediction. But right now the Titans don't look great. Okay, let's go to the fixtures for the week. What to watch out for? We've got the upcoming fixtures. We've got, obviously today, the Proteas Women are taking on New Zealand Women in indoor. That game is currently happening, so you'll know the result of the game when you watch this. Then on Wednesday, we have Dolphins versus the Lions in Durban in Division 1. And then as the only Division 1 game this week. And then in Division 2, another only game week for Division 2 is the Eastern Cape Inyati against the Northern Cape Heat in in East London at Buffalo Park. So the Inyati will be making their start their season against the Northern Cape Heat. So not a lot of 4-day series games up. There are some Hollywood bets fixtures this weekend, like in the last weekend, but like we did last year, we'll just have one show just to kind of recap where we are in Hollywood bets, the Pro Series. And then a massive game on Thursday in the Women's World Cup. South Africa take on India in Vizag. Like I say, pressure-free game. There's an opportunity for you to take the W. You should take the W in a game when you're not expected to. But even if you lose this game, it's not a bad thing. India have gotten so far ahead of you in the last 5 years in women's cricket that, they are the favorites here, and a loss is not going to be the end of the world. Hoping for a much better showing from the Proteas Women as they are. Tim, not a lot of games this week, but some stuff to look forward to.
It's a pile up next week, because next week it's a lot. There's a lot to come on.
Because obviously
it's a calm before the storm. Next week is Proteas in Pakistan. It's lots to focus on. So it's a calm before the storm.
Yes, but just to close that out, we do have a T20 happening on Saturday, the 11th, the Saturday. South Africa plays Namibia, the men's team. And then on Sunday morning at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., Pakistan match is always early. In Lahore, South Africa take on Pakistan. So, lots to go about in this week before we get to Monday. So next week when we're talking, we'll be probably giving you our thoughts on the first day in Lahore and how the Women's World Cup has gone over and above the 2 4-day series games. That brings us to the end of the show. Remember, please do follow us at SA Cricket Pod on X, also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's South African Cricket Podcast or SA Cricket Podcast. And also remember, you can buy some coffee at /buy me a coffee SA Cricket Pod. And also there's a QR code floating around the screen somewhere on YouTube, but also here for your ease as well, to help support us. Do that. Remember, you can send us your emails at sacricketpod@gmail.com. Good luck to everyone playing this week. Good luck to the Proteas Women against New Zealand. They are currently 64 for 1 in the chase, looking very strong and very good. So hopefully it's the first W of the World Cup, and it's onwards and upwards from there for this team. But outside of that, from myself and Tim, it's goodbye and lesale kakafiso.